Now on this video, Charlie Reeves and Bob Brookins are sharing their experiences with having paint delaminate. There's some very useful information on this if you play it and listen to the everybody's opinion. Of course, everybody has an opinion about this. I voiced my opinion, so did Bob. Charlie was gracious enough to share this experience with us on video, and I think it's information that basically anybody building model airplanes can put in the bank, especially if you're new to putting a high gloss finish on a plane. Charlie, of course, is a master modeler and helped me with my big job project. Okay, but would they make a big stink if you made this out of carbon fiber?
No.
I mean, that's no big. Painted silver even. They wouldn't even...
All you got to do is have the wheels in the right location.
Yeah, you can't put wing gear in it.
Right.
I get the idea.
Now, Wendy, I called you and I asked you about the Brodak paint, but I've had trouble with it. Look at these.
Yeah, I could tell you what you did. I don't even have to look.
And look at this. It's bubbling down the top of the fuselage. It's bubbling right down this seam here where I glued the top block on. It's bubbling.
No, okay, so tell me what the finish is. Tell me every step of the finish.
Okay. I haven't stripped this off to see where the bubble is. Mm-hmm. But I read the guys in Texas were using this polyacrylic water-based urethane.
Okay.
To put down glass cloth.
Okay.
So I put the glass cloth on the fuselage and tail surfaces.
Before you put the finish?
Yes, that went on the bare wood.
Okay.
Then I went on with...
What's going on, man?
Yeah. Then I went on with nitrate gold
Okay.
on top of that because it sticks better than butyrate.
Okay. We're just playing some
And
video
then
games.
I went on with butyrate color,
PlayStation 2.
and the clear is a polyurethane
Where you up
automotive
to?
clear.
What are you flying?
Okay. So in essence, you've got 9 different products on the plane.
Shark? Oh, I got it.
And I don't even have to tell you, you know that that's the problem. The question's already been answered.
The first thing that happened is this is where the block ended, and I had a plug on the front right here. That was a glue joint, and it bubbled up right across the first mats I brought it to.
But follow through with me. If you had done this, balsa wood, 3 coats of clear, silk span, 3 coats of clear, some filler or no filler, and then Brodak dope, all butyrate, and Brodak clear, the discussion changes from what did you do wrong to the product rather than the product is wrong. You have 2 incompatible products.
Okay.
And there's no question about it. That is definitely the answer. Now, to prove it to yourself, if you refinish this, pull a piece of this up and do a delamination test. Just look under a glass or a loop, and you'll see wherever the Brodak begins and ends, that's where it delaminates. But the Brodak products don't delaminate.
Well,
unless Bob could, where's Bob? He could confirm this. The only thing, if you've ever sanded a fillet, all bets are off. As soon as you put sandpaper to a fillet, you're not going to get a bond to it. The silicone in the sandpaper makes it that you never, I'm not saying it exactly right. Bob just helped me out. I had fisheye parts with carbon fiber. But in other words, if you put the air epoxy light on rough, put the Brodak primer on that, and then sand the primer, there's absolutely no way you can make that wrong. It can't. But when you get creative with it, there's no end to what can go wrong.
okay.
I mean, it's just that. I don't even know the right answer. Without sounding like an idiot or something.
Well, I've got another one of these built, and it's finished to the point of clear coat now.
All Brodak or with polyurethane and...
I will have the polyurethane clear coat over it.
Okay.
Because I like the fuel resistance of it. But what has happened, this point right here.
Oops.
Hit it again, Charlie.
Oh, I hit it a whole lot worse than that Wednesday. Right here, I got a big bubble.
Steve wants you.
And I started, and this is in the yellow.
Right.
After I'd painted it, about 2 weeks, no, several weeks after I'd painted it, all of a sudden, bubble popped up here. So,
But in other words, it's like a bologna sandwich. Is it bread to bread, bread to jelly, jelly? Bob, when you have Bob's a pro painter,
Oh,
so I get
I
information from
understand
him. But what I'm saying, whenever you have a bubble somewhere in the matrix of material, something isn't sticking to something.
Yeah, released.
You've got to, now I don't know what they define that as in the body shop. I define it as it's delamination.
Delamination.
If you now you told me if you're sanding a fillet with sandpaper, and let's say your fingertip happens to touch it, now when you sand it, you're pressing that in. There's no way you ever get that out. That's in for good. Rubber gloves help, but they don't eliminate the problem 100%.
The reason so many people have trouble with these areas is when they paint something, it builds up so much paint in there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't dry as fast as the rest of the paint does, so it doesn't
Yeah.
flash out. So then it dries like a mud hole. The top dries
Top
first.
dries, bottom
Right.
is
Bottom
still,
dries
Right.
and starts
top
pulling.
shrinks,
Yeah.
Right.
pulls the bottom way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
On the one I've got built at home now, I got this bubble right here. So I got out some rough, tough sandpaper, 80 grit, on a piece of dowel, and I started working that down. The yellow paint peeled up. So, and it felt like rubber when I was
Okay.
sanding it.
Okay, it means it didn't have enough thinner.
Yeah. So I took it off back down to the fillet, and I sprayed some yellow on there till I got a yellow match with an airbrush.
You know, this is dope you're painting
This is
now?
dope, Brodak,
Okay.
yeah, Brodak yellow. And I got it painted. Hey, that looks good, man. So 2 days later, I go back and look at it, and it's got spots on it. So I take an X-Acto knife, number 11 blade, and I cut, punch.
Turn it into a pincushion.
Yeah.
Put CA in it
CA'd it.
and rub it with a paper towel.
Yeah, I did. That's what I did. So I started spraying again, got it all on there. 3 or 4 days, up it popped again. So I took it all the way back down to the fillet again, and the yellow, I had 2 coats of yellow on there, two series of yellow. One series just peeled off completely, left the yellow underneath it, so the yellow didn't stick to the yellow. Then I said, okay, I'm going to do this different. And I had it all masked off, so I came back with my airbrush and I went, pss, 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 waited for 4 hours.
Okay.
Came back, pss, 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 waited for 4 hours. I did that 5 times. And now it looks like I've got it stuck down.
Okay.
And I'm not going to put clear dope on it. I'm going to put the clear polyurethane because the dope shrinks and I get fuel running on the airplane. And I hate it. But anyway, I think I've got it down now.
But let me, and if Bob disagrees, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because Bob and I don't agree on everything, of course. Anytime you say the word airbrush and delamination in the same sentence, that's always the biggest contributing factor. Airbrushing means it went on very dry. Does that make sense?
If it's too dry, it won't stick either.
Yep. No, let's start at the beginning. Things that cause delamination. You got the mechanical cure of not sanding between coats. You put on a coat, a coat, a coat, a coat.
Well,
But nothing is making a tooth.
okay, I did.
Even if you
Let me
just took
rephrase
a scratch it.
I took some 120
Okay.
and wrapped it around the end of my finger and just rubbed it enough with that 120 to take any dry dust off of it. And then,
What do you use for your fillets?
well, these fillets right here, my Aeropoxy light had dried up in the cans, my epoxy light had dried up in the cans, so I used 30-minute epoxy and microcoils
Okay.
on this one.
One thing that I've tried and have been very successful of using after you've done your fillets, make sure they're good and cured, that the epoxy is cured out of them and all the resins, okay? Sand them good, and if you can get someplace you can get a can of automotive lacquer primer, not spray can, but a can of it. Take that, thin it, and brush it. 1 coat, let it flash out good, brush another coat. Then sand that paint on it. Usually that will really give you some good adhesion.
Well, I talked to Lou Wolgast at the VSC a year ago. And he said that he has been using on his fillets this etching primer.
Okay. Self-etching primer?
Yeah. He said he cost of fillet.
So I hope there was some useful information in this video, something you can use on your finishing project. Charlie Reeves was so helpful when I built my big job. He supplied the plans and just almost all the information I needed to make a nice replica. I really enjoyed that plane. I went to VSC, really enjoyed it, and Thomas Luciano still has it in his Air Force, and I hope he's enjoying it as I make this video. But Charlie and Bob Brookins were two people that were an influence on me at the time I built the big job, and thank you, Bob Brookins, for all the information you shared over the years, and for all the people that enjoy finishing planes to a high level. Thank you, one and all, for sharing that information. And if you enjoyed the video, please take a second and hit the like button. I really, as I look back over this footage, I really did enjoy that time with my big job. It was one of the high points of my modeling life. And again, thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everybody who shares the information. And guys, the biggest person I thank all the time is thank you all for supporting the channel and watching the videos.